What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video of Heavy Steel and Hot Rods. I'm Jose RPM's the Ironworking Gearhead, and today we're going to be working out here in this back metal building of mine here, my personal metal building. I'm super excited right now. I got the boxes opened up already. I presume that this is all the floor steel and probably the roof steel because there's not many intermediates on the walls. So we're going to go ahead and get everything popped open just so we can look at it, get a count of it, and kind of look at those plans and see exactly where we need to go. But let's get today's video started, guys. Let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out all of these little pieces of steel here, galvanized, whatever it is, and I'm going to go ahead and put like all the like-minded pieces together. So like these, I'm going to go ahead and set them together in little stacks, and I'll go ahead and look at the prints and see exactly where everything goes. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm just going through the parts list right here, and then I'm going through the isometric view of the building. If I can find it right there, the isometric view, assembly key, whatever they want to call it. And I'm just going to go ahead and put all the bottom pieces all around the exterior pieces. So that basically it's like a base angle. I'm going to go ahead and put those all there and kind of make the outline of the building. And then hopefully once that's all done, I can go ahead and go grab some anchors, and I'll come with my hammer drill and start hammering them down. Let's do it. Now what you see me doing here is I'm getting the piece number off of the prints, and I'm finding them right here. These are little angle irons, some rolled metal, but on the prints they're called channels. These are going to be at the top of each sidewall and the end wall as well. So I'm going to get them all laid out. So we got pretty much the outline. Of course it's not straight or anything like that. What I'm going to go do now is take a break from filming. I'm going to go hightail it out there to Maxim Steel, pick up a whole bunch of these little drop anchors, knockdown anchors. And I'll come out here and I'll actually do all the good squaring of it out up against all these edges. Let's do it. Porsche. Okay, so I went and picked up those knockdown anchors. I ended up going to Home Depot because Maxim Steel didn't have the ones I needed. So I went and picked up these. There's 50 of them. I figure I'm gonna need about 40 or so. And I also picked up a new little 1/4 inch bit by 6 inches. So that'll work nice. I got my hammer drills right over there. Came and brought out the little trusty Ryobi one just real quick, the little drill, as per all these little fasteners that are gonna go in these connection points. So I pretty much got the bottom already all put together. Honestly, it's not 100%. It's like this one's very crooked, but I'm thinking I'm gonna put the fasteners in here first. That way at least the corners will stay together and the splice points will stay together, and I can start squaring it out and putting it where I need, and then I'll start going ahead and adding those knockdown anchors. So this is just an example. Hopefully you can see it. These bolts and these nuts. Sorry for the noise behind me. I don't know if you can hear all that screaming. It's my new neighbors. They tend to be yelling a lot since they got here, unfortunately. But there you go. I'm gonna start putting those out there in the back. Now, as of this point in the project, I did not realize how tedious and time consuming and detail oriented this whole thing was gonna be. Putting the splice points together involves using those little bolts I showed you and those little nuts, and it has become very, very time consuming to do each and every one. As per, my hands are too big. So that is why I like to do structural steel, man. A lot of these little buildings, they may be small, but they take a very long time. Now these are a little different. These don't take a nut. These are like a self-tapper type of thing. Now, as per these little self-drilling screws or self-tappers, whatever you want to call them, they've only been used in 3 designated places: on the corners, on the ramp in front, and on the splice points on the sidewalls. I'll tell y'all guys one thing about these little buildings that kind of frustrating is they're all very light gauge metal. So to do this work, it's kind of tedious, to be honest. Kind of very tedious. But I guess it's kind of a good thing because it's teaching me how to practice my patience, because I'm usually not patient at all. So this is going to kind of help with that, I guess. You know, keep my mind right. So I'm going to keep getting at it. I'm going to say thank God for the tree that's behind me, because throughout this whole process, the couple hours that I've been out here doing this, man, it has been hot. It was a heat index of 101, 96 degrees outside. So I just want to say thank you, Lord, for giving me this tree, because this tree has been a lifesaver. As you can see, I tried to stay as much in the shade as possible throughout this whole little process, because if not, I would have been pretty burnt up by the end. So as you can see, I got the whole framing put together already. It's not 100% because it's not, I haven't done the corners just yet, but at least I got all the splice points done. This stuff is very, very sharp, and it's very detalloso, very detail oriented. These little, they're very, very small, the nuts, and they're very, very small, the bolts. But it is what it is. I got them, at least the splice points made up. I'm gonna check out these little prints real quick that they came, the blueprints. I'm gonna see how you attach the corners. I assume it's with these little self-tappers. So I'm looking at these prints right here. Try and do it where I'm not in the way. Look at these prints right here, and it's gonna have two of each. Two of these self-tappers and one of the one with the nuts. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the part of the procedure that was going pretty quick, and it flew by really, really fast because we're using the self-drilling screws, the self-tappers. All I got to do is make sure that the pre-drill holes line up, más o menos, because it seems like when I line up 2 or 3 of them, the other 2 don't line up, but I can just open them up a little bit and then get them all screwed down and get on to the next piece. Now all the corners are done. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna try and square it out as best as I can on my marks, and then I'm gonna start looking to see how we can get these walls up and start working towards putting walls and then roof. So one issue I'm seeing already is that these things are pretty curved. They're not following the line very well. I don't believe it's the cement pad, because when I was with them the other day, they were squaring it out, and I actually saw them square it out with my own eyes, but we're about 1.5 inches off of here. I believe it's just this thin gauge metal though. You can see that red line versus where the steel goes, but that can eventually be fixed whenever I anchor down the base. It's a new day, same old agenda. We're gonna finish doing this, getting it all squared out, and start working on the walls. Okay, so as per these prints, it shows the next piece is 11,460 6592.3. So let's try and find those. Now these little angles right here are actually being called channels on the blueprints. These are going to be the top piece of steel that is going to sit on the side walls and the end walls. So inevitably this will pretty much be the eve of my wall where I'll screw in my sheet metal. Now that I got all these angle irons stitched together, spliced up, I'm going to go ahead and figure out where the orientation of them are. I know one of them is going to be right here, and this is 2 other side walls. I presume the other one's going to be a little bit more hardy since it's going to have a sliding door. But I'll figure that out right now. Okay, so I'm going to start bringing all of these little purlings and all these little things for the walls and the roof over here, because pretty much I got everything that I can set out. Those angle irons are called the sidewall and end wall channels, and I got the base already done, so I got to start getting the rest of like structural steel, whatever you want to call it, the framing members over there. So I'm going to start high-tailing all those over there. I'll make some like-minded piles, and then I'll start going through the prints again. Now what you see me here is putting together the intermediate support framing. It takes 2 splices. On each splice it takes 8 of those little bolts and nuts. So it's 16 per one of them, and there's 3 of them that I got to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and get all the pre-drill holes lined up again, try to do it as fast as possible, but while I'm doing that, also trying to make it look as nice as possible, because these things, if you press them too hard or if you screw them in where they're not lining up, they're going to be a little bit crooked, and that's going to cause us some problems when we come and actually put our sheet metal panels up, because this whole building is pre-engineered and pre-drilled. So we want to try and be tedious and take our time. All right, now that I got all these spliced up, these are for the intermediates on the walls. So basically the center row of the steel, the framing system, that channel with an angle goes on top, and these go in the middle. So I'm gonna go ahead and place them on the corresponding sides, and we'll get into the next thing. So next order of business now is going to be to work on these little C channels, or the purlins, I guess, whatever you want to call them. The bigger structural steel members. We got to make 10 of the top ones and 5 of the other ones, so 15 of them. It's going to take a little bit, but we'll go ahead and get the montage going. This is pretty much the last step of the pre-assembly right here. I'm going to be pre-assembling all the roof purlings and the roof framing. It's going to take a little while because there's 3 pieces per one of them, and then once you get them down, you got to kind of overlap them, splice them together. The top lip has like a 45 on it, so you're going to want to put that one in first and go ahead and slide the other one in. There's going to be some pressure on the one that's a straight 90, but what I did, I just had my channel locks and I went ahead and squeezed them down. That pretty much aligned my bolt holes up, or my pre-drilled holes up, and I was able to put my little fastener in there and my nut, and then I used my Ryobi little drill, my impact, to go ahead and screw them in and get them nice and tight. I'm gonna rinse and repeat this little process over and over again. I have 15 of these that I have to build, so I'm gonna keep going, and I'll see you guys as soon as I finish here, because this is the last step in the pre-assembly, guys. I'm excited. All right, guys, so I'm out here right now doing kind of like just a little check of everything. As y'all saw me, I've been doing all the pre-assembly, man. These little aero buildings, they're pretty fucking detallosos, man. A lot of detail-oriented little things to do. As for the screws and those little, the little bolts and those nuts. And so I assume that this sheet metal is gonna be a fucking nightmare, to be honest, because it's just taking so damn long. This is just the pre-assembly. So I got the floor pre-assembled right now. I got all the roof pre-assembled, and I got the walls all pre-assembled. I'm really gonna just hold off right now. Most likely gonna just go ahead and end this video here. That way I can edit it, upload it, and get it onto the channel. And then tomorrow I'll be starting the actual erection of the building. I'm gonna look into the prints to see if I can come up with a procedure. That way I can go a little bit faster, since it's just myself right now. It's seeming to take just a little bit long. Really, I was out here for like maybe an hour and a half today, 2 hours, and I was out here for maybe about an hour yesterday. So I'm only about three and a half hours into this little project. So it's not like I'm taking too much time, but I would still like to speed it up a little bit more, because since it's me and myself and I don't really want to have to be doing this all weekend. I'd like to have it done by maybe tomorrow or Saturday. So we'll see how that ends up. Other than that, you already know the drill, guys. You go ahead and like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. I'm Jose RPM's Iron Working Gear here. This is Heavy Still a Hot Rod. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed, stay grateful. Don't look back unless you count yesterday's money. And let's live our life with intent, and let's lean towards God, guys. I love you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.